Good job, man. We back with another video, man. I'm doing something a little bit different today, right? We doing an interview style video, right? I got one of my guys we're gonna meet. It's a multiple six figure at the age of 20 years old. He done we're here in downtown Chicago, as you can clearly see. We're doing a public interview essentially, right? You know what I'm saying? A little interview with him. He done a lot of different stuff. He do content and he does e-commerce as well too, right? So I want to do this type of video. So let me know down in the comments down below if you like this type of video or not, right? I can interview a lot more people who are doing six figures, multiple six figures, seven figure, eight figure entrepreneurs, so you can't get in the mindset of those six figure and seven figure earners, right? Because in order to make your first six figures, you need to be in the mindset of those type of people as well too, right? So that's why I want to do this type of style of video. And also, of course, just hit 100K subscribers on the YouTube channel as well too. So appreciate y'all for subscribing down below as well too, right? On the road to 300K, and of course on the road to $500,000 and $1 million as well too, right? So we literally just pulled up in front of his house. We're gonna go inside, let him know that we inside as well too, right? And then we're gonna do a tour of his penthouse at the age of 20 years old. All right, let's go. Let's go.
How you doing?
What's good, man? How you feeling, man?
Pretty good. How about you?
Pretty good, man. You ready for the contest today?
Let's do it.
All right, we're gonna go upstairs to his place as well too, so let's go. All right, so y'all can see we with the man, the myth, the legend. How you feeling, Best Goat?
Feeling good, man. How about yourself?
Pretty good. So as y'all know, we're just gonna be asking some simple questions today, just kind of going through a day in a life kind of video. You know what I'm saying? So real quick, what floor do you stay on, man?
I stay on the 28th floor. Come on, let me show you guys inside.
Going down.
I bet.
Yes, sir. Welcome in. I don't know what that.
Man, it's crazy.
Sir.
Man, like real quick, before we get into anything, yo, let them know how old are you, man?
I'm 20 years old, man.
Okay, cool. And at 20 years old, like, what makes you be able to, like, have the mindset to think that you can achieve something of this sort?
Well, it's really mainly the people I hang around with. You know, I hang around mostly like-minded individuals, and I'm a hustler. And, you know, I just put two and two together, and I'm here. You just keep hustling, waking up every day, and, you know, getting to the grind and not be lazy, be like other people want to wake up, smoke all day, and, like, you know, just be in the comfort zone. I just do the opposite of what the masses are doing.
Okay, cool. All right, so just kind of show me real quick around, like, where everything you got,
Yeah,
man.
some slight views, nothing crazy.
Look at the views, man. That's crazy. Imagine waking up to views like these. You know, just give the viewers a little tour real quick so they can kind of see what it is you're working with. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. That's like living room section. Kitchen right here. So this is a little office space here, and I'm working on. I got a desk getting shipped. Should be in a couple days. Should be office space, and let's go to the bedroom.
Man, how does it feel? Like, do you feel like you've made it now? Does it make you feel like you've made it? Like, dang, a lot of people want this, and I got it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even think I started yet, honestly. Just
Okay, cool.
Iceberg.
He said he ain't even started yet. There's ain't none.
You know, the bedroom is not made right now. You know, real hustlers don't have to make the bed. We wake up and get right to work. You know
What about what people say is like the first thing you should do in the morning is make your bed, right?
Oh, no.
You don't believe in that?
Like, you guys see me, I'm successful. I wake up, my bed is barely even made yet. And then what time is it? Like 8 p.m.?
Yeah, it's 8
Still not made. So it's the room right here.
8:30.
It's decent views right there, but you guys don't have to worry about that because I like keeping that close.
Okay, cool.
Little
And then you got the little walk-in closet as well too.
Yes, sir.
What you got in there?
Nothing crazy.
So like, do you buy any type of designer, or like what do you do with your money? Like, do you
Honestly,
like to buy shoes or what?
Like I honestly don't like buying designers. I'm more invest in what I buy type thing. So
Okay.
Nike stocks, you know, whatever brand that I really like, I'd rather buy their stock instead of buying their apparel, just cause like they can only last so long. So yeah.
Okay. I like that. Nice little walk-in closet as well too, man. Let's walk around. All right, and then of course
bathroom right there.
bathroom over here as well too.
Nothing crazy.
Alright, so a lot of people know you as Besgo3, right? So what's your actual name, real quick? Just let them know what's your name.
Oh yeah, my real name is Carl.
Okay, cool. So Carl, I'm wondering like, what is it that you do for a living to be able to afford a high rise like this at the age of 20 years old, right? That's like 2 years after high school, right? A lot of people are literally in high school right now, thinking about the same exact thing and want to be able to get to the position you are. So like, what is it that you do so they know where to start from?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. So like, I started digital creation two and a half years ago. I'm really in the digital creation space, and I do a little bit of e-commerce, and I do something called drop servicing, right? Really similar to e-commerce, but mostly just drop servicing. Like you're being a middleman of a service. I'm just a hustler. I do a lot of other things that I don't really talk about on camera, but like that's the main field and I also coach people to how to do the same thing that I do. So.
Okay, so I know a lot of people wondering, like, do you sell drugs?
No.
Like those who love the coffee. Okay, cool. So like, what made you start digital creation? What is digital creation, right? Like, I know what it is, right? Some people don't know what digital creation is. Like, what is it, and what made you choose that over the hundreds of different business models that's out there currently?
Because one thing that I understood at a young age, right after high school, is that attention is the new currency. You guys, you have to understand that in this day of age, content is key, right? And attention is the new currency. With that being said, like, if everyone is on their phone, everyone is spending hours, on their phones, scrolling, doing all that. So why don't you become the producer instead of the consumer? Mm-hmm. So I understood this at a young age, and I understood that a lot of brands and companies are willing to pay thousands of dollars for people who have attention. So how do you get attention? By becoming a digital creator. So that's the route I chose, become a digital creator. Started creating content under, the finance niche, because that's something that I was a lot more educated under. And I had obviously Sharif by my side. He knew a little bit more about finance because he was a little bit older. That's just why I picked that niche. But the main part was digital creation. I chose that is because I knew that, hey, look, attention is the new currency, so why not just capitalize of it, and at the same time talking about something that I have some sort of knowledge in.
Okay. For anybody that wants to start like digital creation, like what would be the first step?
So honestly, the first step is figuring out like, hey, like what type of content do I want to make, right? Because if you don't know what type of content you want to make, it will be very hard for you to like pick up the camera and start recording.
So it's just like the niche, right?
Exactly, the niche.
Okay.
So as soon as you do know your niche, the next step is really just pick up the camera and record whatever you do know about that niche. That's really it. A lot of people don't actually start because they think that, hey, look, starting is actually the hard part. As soon as you do start and you keep that consistency, the rest just come through. Like you can learn how to do the other stuff. Like 3 months back, you're gonna see that, hey, look, you've actually improved than where you're at right now. So
yeah, because I want them to know a little bit more about your background, like where it is you're from. Because you've not been born from this country. Like you've not been from here, right?
How you
just
doing?
like me, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm him. I'm real Melanin King. So we do a lot of research.
Okay.
But I want them to know everything about you. So like people who are literally in the same exact position as you, like somebody who's an immigrant, whatever case may be, came to this country, understand the value that they have, or the opportunity they have in the U.S. Right. So we're gonna talk more about that later. But real quick, I want to just give a little tour about your place. You know what I'm saying? The rest of the unit, just so we can kind of talk in different spots as well. So, all right, that's cool with you?
Sounds good.
All right, let's go. All right, so we in one of the amenity floors right now. We're on the 47th floor. And y'all can see the views looking crazy. You see that, right? The views looking crazy. So just want to say, like, man, like, how does it feel to live in this? Like, are you like grateful for, or are you like how do you feel waking up every day? Like, man, these are my views. Like, how does that feel?
Man, it feels great, man. Like this is what I've always been working for, and I honestly feel like I always knew it was gonna happen eventually. That's because my work ethic and like my achievements, like leading up to this moment. So it's like, man, I feel like I deserve it, feel happy, you know what I'm saying? And I just always don't feel I'm not comfortable, right? I'm happy and I'm grateful, but I feel like, hey, look, there's always more, right? Mm-hmm. So same as I'm here right now, there's always a next bigger skybox, you see what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm always pushing for the next level. And, I'm really grateful to be in this. I'm just hoping there's more coming up my way. So
Okay, so like, speaking of like living here, what made you want to move into a high rise at such a young age?
a lot of reasons. First things first, the network connections. In this building alone, nobody makes less than 6 figures a year, right? And high 6 figures, like anywhere from like 150 and up, right, to be able to live in this building. Because yeah, like in this building, if you don't really know, like nobody makes less than 6 figures. And when I say 6 figures, I'm not just saying like 100,000. I'm talking like 150,000 and up, right? Which that's on average how much people
So
make.
nobody make less than 10K a month.
Exactly, in this building. So that's network opportunity. I'm surrounding myself with like-minded, like earning individuals, you know. And yeah, so network opportunity is crazy. The views is obviously crazy for content. Always dreamed of living here. So those are the 3 reasons why I decided to move to a place like this. So
Okay, and you're not like what I want to say too. Like, you're not even born in the U.S. So like, how does it feel? Like, do you remember what it looked like in Africa?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, how do you process that in your head? Like, what it looked out there versus what it looks now. Like, so the environment changes. You ever think about that? Like, whoa, I was living with roaches. I was living with so-and-so. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't even have no concrete ground. Is that like messing with perspective of things, or like super grateful? Like, how did that,
Now, as far as that goes, I do remember the living condition I used to live, back in Africa, and versus now, it's like I'm the type of person I tend to kind of like look back and I really try to remember things that traumatized me in the past.
So it traumatized you? Why is that?
Yeah, just because the living condition was not really good, and looking at my life back then and my life now, it's just like, hey, I don't even want to like have that, be part of me. But yeah, as far as living in Africa versus living here, like, I love Africa, don't get it twisted, but it's just a living condition. And if you have money in Africa, you live like a king, right? So it's like, okay, now if I was to go back to Africa, I'll be good just because, like, hey, look, like, I don't have to worry about my next meal like I was back in Africa. So, I mean, I'm really, truly grateful that I got the opportunity to come to this country, because a lot of people take it for granted, and I was not that person. I came here, took advantage of the opportunity, and I'm here now.
Real quick, man, just look outside here, man. Pan around, man. Let's go through, man. This is actually insane. This is beautiful. And the camera doesn't even do it justice, honestly. Let's pan around here, man. The camera is absolutely not even doing it justice. That's actually insane, man. It's actually crazy. Look at this. This is what life is about. This is what I'm talking about, man. This is what it's about, man. To be able to stay in a spot like this is just, man, a great privilege. All right, now we looking at these views, man, looking absolutely insane. Like, let's talk a little bit about income. What is the most amount you've made in a single day from your business, from one of your businesses, right?
Yeah, so the most amount of money I've made in a single day, I don't kind of keep track of those. I keep track of mostly like a month, but I think the most I've made in a single day, $25,000.
Wow. So, and what exactly did you do for that? Like, how did you make 25K in a day?
Yeah, so honestly, it was a brand sponsorship, and it was $25,000 profit. Wasn't like rev or anything. So it was $25,000 profit, and yeah, it was a brand sponsorship. I'm not gonna disclose what brand that was.
That's insane. How did that feel? And how old was you when that happened? When you had this 25K day, how old was you? And of course, how did that feel?
Yeah, so when that happened, I was actually 19 years old, and it felt amazing. Like the feeling of actually like having it hit your bank. Like, I literally, like, picture this. You wake up in the morning and you look at your bank and you just see an additional $25,000 to what you already had. That feels amazing. You know what I'm saying? That feels great.
Wow, did that change your perspective on, like, man, this 9 to 5 is absolutely insane. Like, the fact that you can make $25,000 for a 30-second post, right? That a brand pay you for a 30-second post, versus how long it would take you to make $25,000 working a 9 to 5. And to do those deliverables, how much time did that take, especially in comparison to a 9 to 5? right, to make that kind of money?
You know, obviously the money actually hit because people can just be talking on email, you know, brands can just be talking, but action speaks better than words. When the money actually hit, it got me to really think, hey, there's really money to be made out here, man. And the amount of hours it would take me to record those videos I had to post for the brand is less than a working day going to a 9-to-5 job. So that made me just, from that moment, from that same day, I thought to myself, I would never work a 9-to-5 job ever again, just because I see the power social media has. And I told myself that I'm gonna do everything possible to make sure that I utilize the power of social media to the full of its potential to make sure I never work a 9-to-5 job. So it felt great.
Wow, man, that's really amazing, man, because just to imagine that at 19 years old, imagine that. If you're 19 currently, right, he did this when he was 19. Imagine that. You sitting there, you know what I'm saying, and then you get 25K hit that count, right? How surreal is that, right? And before having that 25K day, did you believe you could have a 25K day? Right? Did you ever believe something of that sort was possible for you? Or did you be like, this is unbelievable, you're saying it probably would never happen again? Or did it be like, man, let's do it again? You know what I'm saying? Or like, how did that feel?
So prior to that happening, I believe I was gonna have 10, 20, 30, 40K day, right? Those days are coming, obviously. It's just, you have to believe before you receive. You can't just receive something that you never believe you ever gonna receive. So right now as we speak, I've never had 100K in a day, and I believe that day is coming soon. I know it's coming soon because my work ethic is gonna back it up. My actions is gonna make it happen eventually. So you have to believe it first and put the actions behind achieving it, and eventually it's gonna happen.
That was actually really amazing because I literally today, I was like, dang, man, I need a 100K day. We talking about 6-figure months, but 6-figure days right? So that's what my next goal is too as well too. I'm like, man, we need some 6-figure days. You know what I'm saying? I was literally just thinking about that today. Think about that, like we need to strive for as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? Because like still young, and you know, even me at 23 years old, I feel like I did everything too late. You know what I'm saying? Not even too late, but late. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, I wish I was making the kind of money at 19, at 18, at 20. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't. That age was working a 9-to-5. Now, speaking of 9-to-5, right? So what was it like working a 9-to-5? How did that make you feel? Did you ever feel trapped? Or like, were you happy to work a 9-to-5? You just stumbled upon a magical business model, the first one you tried, or that like trial and error?
First and foremost, we both work at the same 9-to-5 job. Yeah, you guys didn't already know. Right. Working a 9-to-5 job, man, I never took the job serious. So he can testify for it.
He was always sleeping in the bathroom.
I never took the job serious, man. I would take long bathroom breaks just so I can like, come up with video ideas and stuff like that. But working a 9-to-5 job is just something that, looking back at it now, back then I thought it was okay. It's normal. I have to do it to pay the bills, to make some money. But now, looking at a 9-to-5 job, that is devastating. That's not something I would look at. I have so many skills that I can monetize that right now, knock on wood, if I was to be down to my last dollar, I'll be back up $2,000 within a week. So, and working a 9-to-5 job is just something that broke me down, but eventually it built me up.
Before even doing your first 6 figures, did you believe that you was gonna hit your first 6 figures? I know you talked a lot about mindset, but like, do you truly believe that? Or is it just like, dang, you just stumble upon it, right?
So, believe, faith without works is pointless, right? So, if you have a system that can actually get you to whatever goals that you are trying to get to, right? It's just a matter of time, right? And a matter of you just keep consistent, keep doing what exactly is it that you're doing, and eventually it's gonna happen, right? So, with all that being said, yes, I believed. Why? Because I had a system that was proven and had got multiple people 6 figures, and if it's got multiple people 6 figures, why couldn't it get me 6 figures? So that's why I believe, hey, look, I have a right system. All I have to do is just keep doing what I'm doing, which is creating content, and eventually I'm going to get to that goal that I set for myself.
So I want to say, us even being successful in such young ages, honestly, to have the mentality that we did is actually delusional when you really think about it, right? So like, I believe that we need to be delusional, right? Honestly, like, you need some delusion, because think about it. Like, what in our right minds make us think that the hundreds of millions of people that's working a 9-to-5, we are gonna be the outliers? The billions of people, we're gonna be the outliers, right? We're literally gonna be in the 1%, and not the 1% when we're 30, 50 years old, 40 years old. We're gonna do it young, right? So imagine how delusional we had to be. You think that key thing in you being able to believe that you can your first 6 figures at such a young age, Like, do you think it was delusion? Do you think it was like, I ain't got no choice but to make my first 6 figures, right? Or like, what was that key component for you?
Remember this, but back in the day at WeatherTech, when we used to work, obviously the 9 to 5 job, I used to tell you, hey, look, I'm gonna make $100K a year. And that's something that you didn't really believe, right?
I believe that I could make it, but you wasn't talking about $100K a year. You was talking about $1 million a year at 20. That's what you was talking about. That's what I always believed it. But you was talking about $1 million. You said that same year that you was working on 9 to 5, you was gonna make $1 million, right? And at first, I was like, this dude is delusional, right? But I'm like, yo, that's what it takes. You know what I'm saying, even if you didn't make your $1 million, you took a massive step, and way further than people in your age group, right? So it was like, I always believed, I literally, when I was 18, I set the time that I'll make my first 6 figures at 21, right? But my mindset was, I'm gonna do it in so amount of years. You're like, but I'm gonna do it this year, right? I'm like, my mind was like, I'm gonna do it in 5 years, right? Or I'm like, oh, I'll make my first $1 million at 30. That was my goal, to make my first $1 million at 30. And you like, bro, you're tripping. You told me straight up, bro, you're tripping. Why can't you make that this year? So that was like stuff like that I really messed with, because it's like really made me be more delusional, which is good. You know what I'm saying? Because I need the delusion. I'm already being delusional by saying I'll make my first 6 figures at 21. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, amount of delusion you had was good though. You know what I'm saying? So I truly believe that I could make that 6 figures at such a young age. It was $1 million. And the reason being was I was comparing myself to other people that I looked up to. They made their first $1 million at 30. I'm like, I don't think I'm smarter than this person. So I'm gonna make my first 6 figures at least at the age that they made it as well too, right? When I was really limiting beliefs, that was really what it was, right? Yeah. And that was when you pulled me out of that mindset. And like, just because they did it, why can't you do it quicker, right? Yeah. So I'm like, oh, it was like, because it was like self-doubt. I'm like, I believe I can do it, but not better than this person, right? But you had a different mindset. Man, it doesn't matter what this person did, how long, I would do it even better. I'm saying that was the mindset that I picked up from you.
To answer your question though, as far as the delusional mindset, that kind of came from me watching people who are younger than me achieve crazier goals. So that made me believe that, hey, if this kid at the age of 14 is making $100K a month doing e-commerce, why can't I do that? You see what I'm saying? So I position like that. Hey, look, if he's doing that, I know I can do it too.
That's some be ahead of stuff.
Exactly. So that's how I always visualize things. I'm like, hey, look, like if he's this back then, I was like, hey, look, this 9 to 5 is just temporarily, man. I'm about to take the money I make from this 9 to 5 and put it back into e-com so that I can take my business up and I'll eventually make a meal, which that did not happen back then. So that's how I always view things though. I just view, hey, look, if so-and-so can do it, I know him, I can do it too.
Right now, you had mentioned you had a framework that's made a few of your students multiple 6 figures at what I'm guessing young age. If you was to start completely from scratch right now, right, what you say you can get your first couple thousand, right, relatively quick, right, what would you do step by step, right, for the complete beginners out there who's never done any of this? What would the first thing you do? What would be the business model you attack, and what would you do to get your first $10,000, right, as a complete beginner?
So if I lost completely everything,
knock on wood,
and I still have my knowledge. So one thing that I have knowledge in is obviously digital creation, e-commerce, and drop servicing. And honestly, if you guys didn't know this, right, the fastest way to make money is by solving people's problems. So now there are a lot of problems out there. One of those problems is people being broke and they need to learn how to make money, honestly. So what I personally would do is, hey, look, I know I still have my skills in sales, and I still have my skills in e-commerce, and I still have my skills in job servicing and digital creation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to teach people how to basically grow their digital creation following and monetize their following into obviously money.
Let's say you have no social proof though, because you will be going based upon your account. You're literally like, this is right, 18-year-old Carl, he ain't got nothing. He working a 9 to 5. He can't be like, yo, let me show you how to create content. You ain't got no social proof. You know what I'm saying? You have nothing. You take the knowledge you have and input into the brain of 18-year-old Carl.
So what I personally would do, so to get to my first 10K?
First $10,000, right?
I have connections. So I don't have connections?
You don't have connections. You don't got nothing. You're literally stranded, bro. You ain't got nothing, right? So what would you do step by step, right? Is it start in a dropshipper store? Is it start, you know what I'm saying, creating content? Is it start drop servicing? And if you're going to start drop servicing, what product would you drop servicing? Or what service would you drop servicing?
So honestly, we'll go the drop servicing route because honestly, is one
I would say it's in a more easier ways to get to 10,000, because what I'm gonna do with drop services is, hey, look, I'm gonna find people who needs. I'm gonna find Airbnb hosts that don't have a cleaning company already with under contract. But you can do this by just going to Airbnb and reaching out to as many people as possible nationwide. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna offer them a cleaning service, right? And I'm gonna go on websites like TaskRabbit and find a cleaner to go clean it. Say for example, I'm charging Airbnb host $300 per clean, and I go find a cleaner on Dropship Rabbit for $30 per hour, and it requires 3 hours for them to clean it. That's $90 right there. I'm paying $90 right to my cleaner to go clean at the Airbnb host, and I'm making $210 profit. And all I need is a website, and I need a professional clean website, which obviously I can build at, right? Because I have the skill sets to build a website.
Or you can drop service it.
Or I can drop service and have someone build it, right?
Yep.
So I'll have a clean professional website. I'll create a business email. And what I'm gonna do is just email a bunch of Airbnb hosts who needs their property clean. Now, it's a numbers game. A lot of Airbnb hosts already have contract with a cleaning company that they already work with. So instead of me reaching out to 10 people and get discouraged because I didn't get nothing back, what I'm gonna do is I'll reach out to 1,000 people in the span of a month. 1,000 people, I'm sure to get at least 20 of them to respond, right? Out of those 20 people, that's $300 each of those 20 people. What's the math on that?
I don't know.
So
hey, I ain't graduate high school with a good GPA.
that's what I would do personally to start, to begin with, and then eventually tap into digital creation, just because I know the power behind digital creation.
Yeah, building your personal brand.
So, and then obviously when I tap into digital creation, I can also tap into e-commerce, just because selling the products online is something that's started during COVID to go on the uptrend, and it's never gonna go back down.
Yeah. So how long do you think it would take to hit your first $10,000?
Honestly, 20 to 30 days.
How you feel about that one?
Just get warmed up. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead. I'm about to run it up right quick. Let's go.
No, what up?
Roll you up. Alright, so as we end off the night, I just want to talk about a few little things. I told the viewers that they will know how much money you make on a monthly basis. So let them know real quick, what is the most amount of money you've ever in a single month?
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. The most amount of money I've made in a month, $137,000 in revenue, of course. Profit margins is typically around 30-40%, so do the math. That's the most I've made in a month.
Okay, cool. And what was it exactly? Was it just one specific business model, or was it just a couple different businesses?
Oh yeah, a couple different businesses combined. So like, I always calculate how much I make revenue across all my businesses and do the math based on
Cool. So now, are all your monthly revenues, is it usually about 30% profit margins, or is it like, or was it just that month was a little bit lower because maybe you spent on ads or something like that?
Yeah, so there's P&N, profit and losses. That month, our profits was a little bit low, but because obviously you got to factor in business expense and stuff like that. So yes, it's not like every month. Depends on some months I do get sponsorships and stuff like that. So it really depends, but that month specifically was $137,000 in revenue, and profit margins was like I said, 30-40%. I don't know the exact.
Be in a position like you to do a 6-figure month at the age of 20 years old?
Honestly, man, start, man, because a lot of people want to procrastinate stuff on when they want to do things, man. Procrastination is assassination of every destination. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but
I heard you say that today.
Exactly. So if you procrastinate stuff that you, hey, look, if I'm doing this thing, it's gonna get me to the next level. If you say, hey, look, I'm gonna do this thing, that tomorrow is never gonna come. You gotta just do it now, and like just kill procrastination. Do what you need to do now. You know what I'm saying, and eventually, it's all about success overnight. Doesn't really happen overnight. It happens with the work that you were doing in the back, behind the scenes, and eventually it looks like success overnight. So
yeah.
I would just say, honestly, whatever it is that you want to do, just start and don't procrastinate and be consistent, and eventually it will pay off.
Okay, cool. So if somebody is trying to hit their first 10K month, what business model would you recommend for them to hit their first 10K month?
Honestly, man, there are so many other different business models out there. I'm not gonna just lean towards one. Obviously, like, was asking me earlier as far as if I was to go from zero, I couldn't pick one. It's like, hey, look, there's so many. I would just say pick something that has worked for someone and study that industry or study that thing and give it your all. You don't try to put your eggs in too many baskets. Put your eggs in one basket in this scenario, right? So me personally, what I would say is, hey, look, you want to start with at least a business model, service facilitation. In other words, drop servicing. So that's what I would say people to get into, because like, look, instead of you trading your time for money, you can have other people go trade the time for money for you to make money, and you keep the difference.
And of course, hire people overseas and stuff like that too.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Very much appreciate it. So what is your goal for the next year? What's your income goal? How much are you looking to make by the end of this year, within the next 5 years?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So by the end of this year, my goal is I want to end up this year making at least $3 million in rev, at least 40% profit, right? And then at like 1.2 profit. And as far as the next 5 years, honestly, man, I want to, after this year, I don't want to make no less than $5 million a year. And obviously, like, just scaling. So in the next 5 years, I want to make like $60 million. So 50 to $60 million.
Cool. I appreciate it, man.
For sure.
Really appreciate the time for today, man.
100%.
And then his socials will be down in the description. For anybody who wants to follow him on Instagram, he go by Besco3 on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Right?
Yep.
So for tapping in as well too. All right, let me know in the comments down below who you want me to do an interview next with. All right, we'll catch y'all in the next one.
Peace out.